Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Yes, Jasmine Lynn Thomas.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Ma'am, you're here on a Superior Court failure to appear warrant. Let's see. Actually, I think this is a direct complaint. Let me double check. Yeah, this is a direct complaint warrant. So you are charged with 1 count of aggravated DUI at the passenger under the age of 15, 1 count of aggravated DUI at the BAC of .08 or more and a passenger under the age of 15, and 2 counts of aggravated DUI at the BAC of .15 or more and a passenger under the age of 15. Those are all Class 6 felonies. Just one moment, ma'am. I promise I'll take any questions you have. So I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 12th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 14th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Ms. Thomas, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. So you are going to be leaving here in about 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're promising as well to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Plus, you're not to possess or consume any alcohol. So, Ms. Thomas, this is a warrant. If you think that any of these alleged charges are incorrect,
okay, so
I'm just letting you know, you can talk to your attorney about that. It's not anything I can change today, but that's something you can talk to your attorney about.
I just wanted to state the fact that I was never informed of what my actual charges were going to be from the night of the accident. I also was never informed of any court date, which is why I missed it. So the fact that I had a warrant seems to me unfair. But you're going to release me, so don't worry about it. I mean, as long as I can get to work. I'm the only one taking care of my kids right now, and I've already missed a full day of work. So please, thank you very much. And I can talk to the attorney about the charges, and I will worry about that on another day.
Correct. And Ms. Thomas, I'll let you know, too, that, I mean, these go back to 2021, and so it's not that you failed to appear. It's more than likely the court didn't have your current address in the system, and that's why they reached out. They sent a letter to the last address they had, didn't get a response, and so that's why the warrant was issued. I believe you're going to get to court and take care of this. That's why I'm releasing you on your own recognizance.
And you did appoint me an attorney that I can talk to, and hopefully they're really not going to charge me that much. You know.
Yeah, no.
That's a worry for another day.
They don't charge.
You saved my day today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Good luck to you. Josie Garcia. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Josie Garcia, April.
Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Ma'am, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegations of 1 count of possession or use of dangerous drugs. It's a Class 4 felony. 1 count of possession or use of drug paraphernalia, a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 12th, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 14th, 8:31 a.m. That is at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Ms. Garcia, I am going to release you on your own recognizance. That means you are going to leave here in approximately 4 hours to 6 hours from now. Because you're being released, you're promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You're also promising to comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you must submit to fingerprinting at the arresting police department within 5 days of today's date. Ms. Garcia, do you have any questions?
No.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Garcia. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And we are going to take a brief recess. It should just be a few minutes. I'll come back. Good afternoon, ma'am. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Ashley Duvall, 2.
Thank you, Ms. Duvall. Ma'am, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation 1 count of aggravated assault adult on minor. It's a Class 6 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 1st, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 5th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Ms. Duvall, I am setting a $5,000 secured appearance bond in your case. Secured appearance means you can pay that directly or work with a bail bonding company. They generally require 10% plus collateral. That would be $500. If you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You will have an ankle monitor installed, and you must comply with pretrial services supervision. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. In addition, you are not to initiate contact with any alleged victims, complainants, or witnesses, or have any physical contact with any alleged victims. You're also not to have any contact with any minors. There are no exceptions to that. You're not to possess any weapons. You must obey the terms of any order of protection or injunction against harassment that has been issued or which may be issued, and you must submit to DNA and fingerprinting at the arresting police department. Ms. Duvall, do you have any questions?
A few, yeah. So, Children's Services was there when all of this happened. We're supposed to meet Wednesday. Should I not do that because the kids are going to be there? It's my 14-year-old. He got mad at me and all this happened.
Okay. So you can still meet with DCS. You'll want to let them know that this order is in place. I believe if it's in that sort of a setting that, well, you'll have to talk to DCS about that. I don't want to give advice one way or another about whether meeting in that setting would be appropriate. Another judge can modify these conditions and may do so in the future, though.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions?
No, that was.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Duvall.
Did you want her out or
Yeah, if she could then, if you could take her out for the next two. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Eduardo Aguilar Martinez III, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Sir, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation of one count of child sex trafficking with a minor under the age of 15 years. That's a Class 2 felony. I have appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 1st, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 5th, 8:31 a.m. That's at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. Mr. Martinez, I am setting a cash-only bond in the amount of $50,000. So you have to pay that full amount in order to be released. I believe you can work with a lending institution, such as a bail bonding company. I don't know what their terms would be. I don't believe it will be the 10% because this is not a secured appearance bond. But if you pay the $50,000, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You will have an ankle monitor installed, and you must comply with pretrial services supervision. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Martinez, do you have any minor children?
No, sir.
Okay.
Oh, Your Honor.
So you're not to have any contact with any minors. There are no exceptions. You are prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means. The only exceptions to that are for work and school purposes. You're also not to possess any weapons, and you must submit to DNA testing at the arresting police department. Mr. Martinez, do you have any questions?
Is there any way to define the bond or anything? Can you release me under supervision under the court? Sir, I have extreme anxiety and PTSD from the military. I'm not going to do very well behind the court. Is there anything else you can do to release me to my house, supervision, something else that I could do?
So, Mr. Martinez, the state constitution requires me to set a bond based on a number of factors, one of which is public safety. Children are the most vulnerable population in our community, and for that reason, I do find the $50,000 bond is appropriate. I am keeping that bond in place.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Martinez.
Yes, sir.
Juan Jaime. Good afternoon, sir. Could you please state your name and provide your date of birth?
Good afternoon. Juan Jaime, 0.
Thank you, Mr. Jaime. Mr. Jaime, you're here on a Superior Court new case. I find probable cause for the allegation, one count of child sex trafficking with a minor under the age of 15 years. That's a Class 2 felony. I've appointed you an attorney. You have a status conference November 1st, 8:31 a.m. Preliminary hearing November 5th, 8:31 a.m. at the downtown Phoenix Superior Courthouse. I am setting a cash-only bond in your case, the amount of $50,000. Cash-only means you have to pay that full amount in order to be released. I believe you can work with a financial institution such as a bail bonding company. Because this is not a secured appearance bond, I don't believe it would be the 10%. It will likely be something higher than that. I don't know what their terms would be. So if you pay your bond, you will be released. You're then promising to go to court on all of your court dates. You will have an ankle monitor installed, and you must comply with pretrial services supervision. You also must comply with the standard conditions and restrictions of release. Mr. Jaime, do you have any minor children?
No, sir.
Okay. So you're not to have any contact with any minors. There are no exceptions to that. You are prohibited from accessing the internet through any electronic means. The only exceptions are for work and school purposes. You are not to possess any weapons. You must submit to DNA testing at the arresting police department. Mr. Jaime, do you have any questions?
I think it's a bit excessive, the bond. I mean, I told the officer, and I even showed him proof that the area I was arrested in, because I was actually working at the time. I was doing Uber, and I had just dropped off a client, and I was already on my way to go to another client when they pulled me over. They just pulled me over like on the side of the road, and I showed him all the proof and everything, and then he asked me questions, and I mean, I told him, that I did have to go through it, but it was through an escorts page on what's it called on Google, but because I was been going through a tough time. my girlfriend pretty much broke up with me. She took half my things one day I got from work. My dog that I've had for like since I was 13 years old, got run over last Sunday. So I was just in a very vulnerable state, and I was listening to wrong people. But in the end, I never like intended to go through with anything. That's why I just chose to focus on just working that day. And, sadly, I happened to be in that area when I dropped off a person.
Yeah, so, sir, what you're telling me right now is different than what you told the police and what's in this, it's different than what's in this Form 4. So I don't believe you, and I'm not going to change the bond.
I'm serious, sir. It's exactly what I told the officer.
Mr. Jaime,
and
again, I'm not going to change the bond. It's different than what was written here, than what you told the police officers. So, sir, if you'll please step to your left. Thank you.